Before we go on this spiel, I need you to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Why not? I'm gonna go through a list of 10 NBA players that don't have any rings, and you tell me if they're great. Elgin Baylor, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller, who went toe-to-toe with Michael Jordan, by the way. Chris Paul, that could change this year possibly. John Stockton, Steve Nash, back-to-back MVP. That nigga Steve Nash did everything, and he can play soccer. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. James Harden, Allen Iverson. Well, what about Paul George? Out of those 10, who's not great?
I can tell he really didn't know basketball, right? So he's like, yo, check it out, man. Like, I was telling my friends, like, your career is so much better than Tracy McGrady's. I was like, what? What are you talking about? No, lie. That's real shit. I'm like, bro, what are you talking about? He's like, bro, you won. You won 2 rings.
That's the problem with society today, man. You're not a valid basketball player unless you have NBA championship. You could be a 10-time Olympian. No rings?
Oh yeah, your buns.
People criticize Carmelo Anthony, who's one of the greatest Olympians of all time with 3 Olympic medals, gold medals, by the way, just because he doesn't have an NBA championship. People do know that an NBA championship isn't a individual feat, right? It takes a team. It can't be 1 against 5. You need 5 guys on the court. It's kind of disrespectful to the game of basketball to only give people their flowers if they have an NBA championship. Don't you think?
And that's why when I was doing the top 75, I said, no, we're gonna get rid of these rings. Yeah. I'm looking at this list. There's people on here with 6,000 points, 4,000 rebounds. Yeah, they got 7 rings.
So basically, Robert Horry. I was having a debate one day. Everybody kept bringing up the rings. LeBron don't got as much rings as Michael Jordan. Don't get as much rings as Kobe Bryant. I said, hey man, Robert Horry has 7. Steve Kerr has more rings than a lot of your favorite NBA players. Bill Russell has 11. So if we're talking about rings, let's not disregard all the other players who have more rings than your favorite players, especially Bill Russell. If rings is the leading factor in who's the GOAT or in the GOAT conversation, then Bill Russell should be in every single GOAT conversation because he has 11. If we're just talking about solely NBA championships. Yeah, I'm on that type of time today.
You can't tell me Damian Lillard is not a fucking winner. Yes, he doesn't have a ring, but I would say that guy's a champion.
Now, it depends on what you define as champion, right? So I see what J.J. Redick's going for. He's kind of saying he's a champion in life. He's won a lot of facets. He got a lot of good contracts. A winning player, you know what I'm saying? He's been to the playoffs all the time. But I think people define winner as winning NBA championships or winning championships in that facet. But people forget that only one team can win every year. You can be an ultimate winner, not have the best team, and lose. That's part of the game. Good friend of mine, I might call him my twin, Spencer Dinwiddie, made a couple valid points on this exact segment. Let's watch.
If you're not top 5, and I mean like all time, 2 years, 3 years after you're done, they're gonna forget about you, bro. Like, let's be real about who we're still talking about. If you didn't change culture like AI or Steph Curry with the threes, or you're not literally Kobe, Mike, Bron, or do we talk about Penny Hardaway? Do we talk about T-Mac? Do we talk about Brandon Roy for real, other than injuries? Like, and these are monsters. Like, we're talking about, these are dudes
Some of the
that,
greats.
the greats.
Twin made a lot of great points. If you're not Mike, Bron, Cole, game changers like AI, Steph, a lot of people won't talk about you. He questions that people would still forget to mention Shaq if he wasn't on TNT weekly. Like, we didn't see his face weekly. They might forget that if he wasn't on TNT because you got a new culture of kids who aren't searching up Shaquille O'Neal highlights. You don't see a lot of kids talk about Brandon Roy because they didn't grow up watching how cold Brandon Roy was before injury. We got kids that don't even know who T-Mac is. We got kids calling Melo LaMelo when Melo is Carmelo. Like, we have a lot of great NBA players who haven't won rings. I'm gonna go on my spiel in a little bit, but let me read a tweet from George Karl, the NBA coach. Let's cut out the ring culture BS. Only 11% of NBA players and 10% of NBA coaches ever won an NBA championship. Guys like Patrick Ewing, Charles Barkley, John Stockton, Grant Hill, Allen Iverson, Vince Carter, Carmelo, Steve Nash, Elgin Baylor have never won a championship. All of them, plus many more, are still winners and should be recognized as that. I agree. Take away Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Mike don't get 6 rings. Take away Kyrie, D-Wade, Chris Bosh, K-Love. Bron don't got probably 5 rings. It's all a team effort. If you want to win by yourself, go play a solo sport. Basketball is not one of those. The reason why I made this video is because I seen a quote Carmelo Anthony said today. I seen it on Twitter. Because we didn't get to, okay, someone, grammar, okay, anyways. So because we didn't win the NBA championship, we shouldn't get credit. Like, we should just be dismissed on everything. You still want to win the championship, but it's like, I'm going to get the 60 million before I go get the ring. There's no way guys who haven't won the ring shouldn't still get the credit that they deserve. Would you rather get $100 million in NBA contracts or $5 million and win 3 rings? If I can solidify $100 million generational wealth for my family, I think I'm gonna go ahead and do that. It's not to say that I still can't win. Carmelo Anthony went to the NBA playoffs as a rookie. LeBron won Rookie of the Year that year, yes. But Carmelo Anthony could have won Rookie of the Year that year and nobody would have batted an eye because Carmelo Anthony actually had matching, if not better numbers than LeBron, and he had a winning record and he went to the playoffs. Ring culture has ruined the way society looks at sports. If you go to the barbershop right now and you have a debate about who's the GOAT, the debate always starts with MJ never lost in the finals. He got 6 rings. LeBron 0-6 in the final. It's all about rings, right? What about how good the player is outside of the team accolade? Because everybody in the team organization gets a ring. The videographers get a ring. The front office gets a ring. We're taught, and at least in my generation, if you don't win, you're a loser. There's no other way to win unless you have the accolades, the championships to show for it. You have, like I said, hundreds of players who've never smelt the ring, smelt an NBA Finals. You have people like Robert Horry, who if you look at his accolades, he is not a Hall of Famer. He has 7 NBA championships. So why is the NBA championship the end-all be-all in terms of discussing players' greatness? Players' greatness should not be determined off of the NBA championships he's won, although it helps, but it's not the end-all be-all. You can have a healthy debate about the greatest of all time without bringing up rings. Because when you start bringing up rings, man, like I said, Bill Russell enters a conversation. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar enters a conversation. So all the ring culture BS is just ruining the game of basketball because of this reason as well. And I think his name is Nick. I think he works on ESPN, or I've seen him on TV, whatever. He said, you have NBA players today missing regular season games, sitting out practices, playing a minimum of 40 to 50 games a year, only to rest for the playoffs because that's only when it matters most. We have people missing a lot of regular season games, right? Just for the end goal to win a championship, when in reality only one team can win, right? So then when you don't win the NBA championship, you miss 30 plus games to rest to lose. So he said, we have NBA players that are willingly public about this, that sit out games to rest their body for the postseason. But the regular season plays a huge factor into the postseason because you got seeding, you got chemistry, right? Why are we diminishing the regular season because of the postseason? One reason, an NBA championship. Everybody's thinking, okay, I gotta pace myself for the regular season. When we got fans paying extreme amounts of money to see you perform, and you like, man, I'm gonna go half-assed today. I'm trying to pace myself because we got a long week next week and we gotta head into the playoffs. Like, nah, bump that, bro. That ring you may or may not get should not define your career. Play every game like it's your last, because you're not guaranteed to see another season. Ring culture has ruined that. If you don't win a ring that season, blow up everything. Boston don't win this year, blow it up. Milwaukee don't win this year, ship Dame off again. Philly don't win, Embiid gotta go somewhere. Not everybody in the world can be NBA champion. You gotta be in the right place, right time. I understand that winning is the end goal, but there are so many other factors that go into getting a ring, especially multiple rings, that aren't based on the individual player. It's a team sport at the end of the day, like I just said. It's very difficult to rank players solely on rings. Should we not care about rings? Absolutely not. It's still the end goal that everyone is aiming for. I think you need a couple at the very least, but for that to happen, you need to be in the right place. Good team at the right time. Injuries, that takes a degree of luck. To be in the GOAT combo, you need to be great and be lucky enough to get the opportunity to show your greatness at the final stage and win. You can be great, but if you don't have the luck, you end up like Harden, Russ, AI, etc. Never will be in talk because lack of rings. You would think everybody's out there trying to get married. Glorify the ring. The actual ring. This is how you win in life. This ring is more valuable than any NBA championship. A lot of people in marriages get divorced. That's not happening. A high percent of marriages end in divorce in today's world. I wonder why that is, man. I feel like we're in such a quick click, fascinated culture. If there's no changes seen immediately, people aren't willing to work through things because they like, you know what, I can go find this elsewhere. Okay, cool, go ahead. You're not gonna find the genuinity. Yeah, I made up that own word. Same for basketball. You gotta be very lucky to have that happen to you. Not everybody can win a ring, bro. Be grateful in the situation you in, because you can be out the league, bro. Nobody's safe. So LeBron says he'd still be as dominant if he never went to Miami. You damn right I still would be. I'm chosen. Ain't nothing changing that. Maybe less rings, but dominant from start to finish. People out there have this facade, right? Michael Jordan was amazing. He was super dominant. Like, he played 15 years in the league, won 6. So let's disregard the other 9 years where he didn't win. But with LeBron, though, he lost in the first round. He getting swept. He didn't make the play. Yeah, all this other stuff. But with Jordan, no, he gets a pass because he has 2-3 peats in 15 years, which is very exceptional. But it's like, let's not say someone was so super dominant that everybody feared this man. When Shaq and Penny and them got Jordan up out of there when he returned to the NBA. The LA Pistons was bouncing Jordan up out of there before they got Scottie Pippen. People don't talk about that. You can dominate the game without winning every single year. Team sport. Team accolade, man. Ring culture's fucking up the game, bruh. Don't let it fuck up your mental. That's all I gotta say. That's my spiel. Sayonara. Damn it. Bro, I need some allergy medicine. I'm stuffed up like a mug right now. The championship or bust, to me, that's not a real thing. That's the thing that people make up. You can accomplish a lot more. You can create brotherhood. You can learn a lot more about people. Russ has won. One of the greatest point guards we've ever seen in the history of the game. One of the most tenacious athletes we've ever seen play sports in general. Going to be talked about for decades because of the way he played the game. I respond and say, I must say that quote unquote ring culture has absolutely cooked the NBA community. There can only be one NBA champion every single year. Everyone lacks patience nowadays, and I can almost guarantee that if the Bucks don't win it all this year, the masses will say they need to blow it up or blow that team up too. Even though they just won 2 seasons ago. Like, people forget this quick that the Milwaukee Bucks just won 2 seasons ago. You know how hard it is to win a ring, but the Sacramento Kings ain't won a ring since freaking the Kansas City Royals. Nigga, God forbid we won last year and then we don't win again for 2 or 3 years. Is it time to blow it up? This is my last thing on the ring culture, bruh. Look at historic times, man. We have people without rings going to go chase rings. Tracy McGrady was on the San Antonio Spurs when they lost to the Miami Heat. Wasn't playing any quality minutes. True, you could fact check me on that too. In my opinion, it kind of looks a little weaker when you start to chase the a ring at the end of your career because you might look a little washed up, you might look a little cheeks. If that's the case, I'd rather go out without chasing it. If I chase the ring and lose, I might as well just keep losing on my team. If you chasing it works, more power to you. But if you chasing it doesn't work, doesn't really look good. Just saying.